Amid all the doom-laden exhortations to change our ways, let us remember that we are striving to create a more beautiful world and not sustain with growing sacrifice the current one. We are not just seeking to survive. We are not just facing doom. We are facing a glorious possibility. We are offering people not a world of less, not a world of sacrifice, not a world where you're just going to have to enjoy less and suffer more. No, we are offering a world of beauty, more joy, more connection, more love, more fulfillment, more exuberance, more leisure, more music, more dancing, and more celebration. I hope that was better this time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now, everyone, we will come, as you all know, we all today have the official launch of the GDS-M, the Global Sustainability Destination Movement. So, and in order to, we are not live just now, please use your imagination, your wild imagination, and imagine you're seeing a keynote stage right now. Yeah, and so please make speaker view. That would be fantastic if you can do so. Speaker view, everyone. So the big reveal and the big launch coming now. So please, speaker view. Da 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 da. And now we may present the launch of the GDS-M.
Great stuff. Thank you, Claudia. And I feel I have to stand up. I can't be sitting down here, can I? So that's great. Well, thank you very much. Thank you to the panel. Thank you to Ed. Thank you to Claudia. So yeah, let's kind of sum up a little bit about our next step here. So kind of what Ed inferred and what some of the questions came up is some big questions. Are we facing the end of tourism? Are we facing the end of events as we know it? Or are we in this moment of creation, of starting something much better and newer? And I think this is a really exciting time. And it made me think about a book that I love by a guy I love, called Paul Hawken, who wrote a book about the blessed Unrest. And he talked about this fundamental time of change in society, where we're moving from a world created by privilege to a world created by community. And I feel what we've done over the last few years is create this community of change makers. And I think it's great now to take this community of change makers forward to really think together about changes we've started to with the last few Feeling the Pulse sessions and some of our work that we're doing with you. Because it is this time of change. And the good news is that, the market is changing. We did this interesting research for IMEX Group and for Marriott last year and this year. And we saw that last year, 79% of event suppliers had changed their focus in 2019. There was a shift. We saw that 97% of all event organizers at the 1,500 that we questioned around the world were doing something around sustainability. They're not all the most sustainable events, but they were doing something. They're phenomenal. That's a tipping point. When we look at Booking.com, we saw 55% of global travelers last year were determined to make more sustainable choices. And COVID is just accentuating this change. When we repeated the survey in May of the same people, 95% now of event professionals said it was important or extremely important. That was an increase of 5% since we did it last time. So it's a good time. And the good news is together we've already created this movement for change. You guys are already committed to sustainability. We're already sharing learnings. We're already growing together. And we're already getting better and more efficient at this journey together. But is that enough? That's the question, right? Is that enough? Because I don't think it is. And coming back to what Ed's talked about, the challenges are too big. So I think it's time to rethink and design. Our past was regenerative. For the last few years, and some of us for the last 20 years, we've been working on sustainability. We've gone through phases of corporate citizenship to CSR, to sustainability, to net positive, all of these fantastic buzzwords. But now I think rather than a buzzword, we have to step up to a new future, which is about regeneration. So this is not just a new word for sustainability as we've had in the past. This is something that is about transcending. It's about including all the work we've done in sustainability, but going to the next level. And I think that this is a great moment for us to really reflect on the power we have as an industry. What is it? You know, tourism on its own is 10.3% of the world GDP. Add on the event sector and you have a power force for change, and a power force that we can change and catalyze regeneration of energy systems, food systems, water systems, transport systems, social systems, economic systems, and along, etc. So, introducing the GDS movement. You know, the GDS movement is a platform for destination regeneration and transformation. This is what it's about. This is about us stepping up from our origins as the GDS-Index and going to the next level. It is about how we work together, collaborative, to inspire, engage, and enable destinations all around the world to become more regenerative, flourishing, and resilient places to visit, meet in, and thrive in. It builds up on our history from the meetings and events industry and our partnership with ICA and IMEX and MPI, but it goes to the next level, you know, really expanding to be a holistic program throughout the elements of tourism. So it brings in new partners and new players. And a key part of this movement, I think, as we started to do today, is to ask the right questions, the tough questions. Kind of always reminds me of what Einstein said. If I had an hour to solve a problem and my life depended on it, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solutions. And that's really, I think, what we're starting to do. And Ed started to do some. Louise asked a great question. Those are the things we have to flush out. And the good questions that are the ones that make you feel slightly uneasy. You know, for us as professionals in the sector, to question our work is difficult. You know, I think it's time for us to question, are we travel agents or are we change agents? You know? Because there's 17 goals there which we need to survive, we need to hit to survive. And so how do we hit those? How do we really create the value for society with our work? As Miguel from Copenhagen said, how do we really use tourism as a resource for change, to create knowledge, to create more innovation for our destinations, to attract investment, to generate jobs, to forward social progress, and to recover the environment? But at the same time, we have to ask the questions like, what is our relationship with nature? Because as we've seen, society in general it doesn't have a good relationship with nature. We've forgotten that we are part of nature. It's not us and nature, we are nature. So how do we link in back together, and how can we really learn from living systems thinking? Ed brought some great examples up from Anna's work. And I hope, you know, Anna and I are working this, and we hope to unlock a lot more of her thinking for the benefit of this movement. But there's so much to learn. And so really kind of think forward, you know, in this moment of real change, what are the strategies, skill sets, and mindsets required by us, by the DMO professionals, destination professionals? How do we take that switch from destination marketing to destination stewardship to destination regeneration? Because that's the big challenge for me, and an exciting one. So our response is the GDSM, or the Global Destination Sustainability Movement. And we really want to carry on this work we've been doing to work as a team to unlock the collective knowledge, collective wisdom amongst us. Because together we will go faster. And together we can unlock the value change and transform them and catalyze regeneration. So that means we need to work together to co-create new strategies and solutions, to share knowledge and best practice, to build these new mindsets, skill sets, and tool sets. And you know, I'm a big believer in measurement and benchmarking, so we have to do the data stuff and unlock data as a tool for this journey. But there's kind of pillars, you know, on this work, right? kind of looking at this tree and thinking how this tree is in balance with nature and helping mushrooms and helping the soil generate. So I think for us, this kind of example from nature of collaboration is key, but we want to push it to the next level. What does extreme collaboration amongst us look like? What can we learn from living systems? What can we do to implement more nature-based solutions? How do we accelerate innovation? And ultimately, I think kind of probably the first step, it's not in that order, but the first step for me is this personal transformation. I don't know anyone who's really successful in sustainability who hasn't had their own personal aha moment. And so what does that look like for professionals? As Otto Scharmer said, you know, how do we go from ego to eco? And I think this is all wrapped up in the work that we can do together over the next few years. So our portfolio will change. You know, the GDS-Index was the name. Now the GDS-Index becomes a product. The consulting, we've expanded a lot in the last 18 months. We've brought in lots more talent and skill sets. You've met some of the people today to allow us to really facilitate these strategies, these narratives, these roadmaps for a regenerative future. We're also really excited to be working on, and many of you are actually helping us work on this, the GDS Forum, which we will be announcing after the summer, which will be convening, uniting destination management professionals to catalyze innovation for regeneration. We are in October launching our Forest Academy program, which is a certificate for regenerative destination management. And that's just the first one. There's going to be a lot of longer and shorter programs around education and knowledge setting. And we've been working on a certification program as well with EarthCheck to run and reinvent the world. So lots happening here. We have an absolutely fantastic new web. So thank you, Noah, and our team in South Africa who developed this. The new website address is fantastic. I love it. It's gds.earth. So super easy to remember, gds.earth. And you'll see a lot of stuff there. It's work in progress. We're going to improve it. You heard Melissa talk earlier. She's going to help us work on this to explain improve our narrative. Ed's working on this with us too. So yeah, please become part of this journey. And I guess what I'm really excited about is this kind of team of change makers that is working around the world with us on this. Here's some of the people, and we've got Erica from Tokyo on the line, we've got Alejandro who can't join us, Dion in Cape Town, Melissa who's not on here, Ed, Eduardo, Pip. There's a whole group of amazing people with different skill sets. So I love it. It's really exciting times. And I think all of these people are budding masters of regeneration. I don't think anyone's a master of regeneration, but we're on the journey to become kind of, to develop our own expertise and have fun on this. But we're not going to get there without a system, a partner ecosystem. Just like the tree in the forest, we have to kind of nourish our own ecosystem. So I'm really grateful for our founding partners. I'm really grateful for our strategic partners around the world. And then now we've even got academic partners with the University of Surrey helping us do some really interesting data work. So it's an exciting journey, but we're managing it right, we're governing it right. We have a really great advisory board of different people from our partners and outside who are helping make sure we're on the right journey. And this is evolving, we're adding new skills and people to this work. We have an amazing technical advisory committee, some of you on the call today, of real sustainability experts from destinations who again work on the technical aspects, on the criteria. So I feel very grateful to have all these people around us and working together as a team. So I thought we did kind of hang up my hat here on the last thing of really, you know, bringing the change makers to life, because I think some of you work with many of these people, but not all of these people. So yeah, Claudia, I'm going to hand it back to you now.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, this is just a short image introduction of our Changemakers, but as we know, behind every movement, organization, community, it's people. And so who really make the heartbeat of whatever it is. And with this, I would like to take the opportunity today to really give everyone the chance to look into the camera. Please take speaker view, and we will pass on the baton for everyone to say a couple of hellos and demonstrate their object when they think about regeneration. And we go through all the team, and I would like to start with Ed. Ed Gillespie, do you hear me? So for a few seconds, if you can go on speaker view, or we can all go on speaker view and give Ed a few seconds. So please just say something to this birthday party today.
So this is my object. This is a can opener. The gap between the invention of the tin can and the invention of the can opener was 38 years. We are very good at creating unintended consequences. So the regenerative global destination sustainability movement is the can opener that gets us to the can that we want much faster than 38 years.
Thank you very much, Ed. Rebecca, over to you.
Thank you. I am a sustainability change maker at the GDS-Movement. My objects are 4 blackberries. I've been getting into gardening this year, and we're very proud of this plant that is now bearing fruit earlier than intended, but I thought it was very appropriate for today, so happy to share that with you and to be part of this special movement that we're very proud of.
Thank you very much. Noah, I want to see you.
So, I'm Noah. Many of you may know me, but I'm also one of the change makers, and my origin, and this is connected to the movement and why I'm excited about it, stems from eco-villages. So I grew up in living laboratories for a more sustainable future, you know, communes of some sort. And I think this sense of community is also what has attracted me to the GDS-Index at first, and now the GDS-Movement, because we're really trying to create this sense of community, this movement, and in a way, through that process, create these laboratories for change, for positive change. And my object for regeneration is this little date, because date palm trees, they grow in the most inhospitable regions in the world. And I think this is analogous to where we are right now with the tourism and events industry, wanting to regenerate in a very inhospitable environment. And over to Victoria.
Hi everyone, I'm Victoria. I'm one of the GDS movement change makers. As Noah said, I'm also very excited that we finally launched this. We've been talking about this since the moment I joined in January, and finally the day has come. When I think about GDS, when I think about regeneration, I also think about movement, and that's what aligns our new name with our purpose. And my object is this orchid that we have at home, because I've recently started having some more interest in plants, and I honestly didn't really know what object I could show you. And then this morning I looked at it and I was like, okay, plants, many people I've seen before, they use plants as a symbol. It's pretty obvious. But this is pretty close to me because recently I've started my interest in taking care of plants and their regeneration process increased a lot.
Thank you, Victoria. Thank you. Guy, over to you.
So mine is my camper van is called Eric. Maybe the next call I do for my camper van. So I had to run a workshop with Olivia and with Laura, who's on the call, in Geneva, and one in Lausanne last week. And I couldn't fly, I couldn't drive. So I took my 36-year-old camper van, and Janet and I drove up. And we had such an amazing trip, stopping through Provence and the beaches and the Alps and stuff. And it really gave me a lot of space to think about what we're doing, the regeneration that's needed. And my van always does that to me. So it connects me to nature, makes me slow down. And I think that's what we all have started to experience in COVID, and we all need to do more of. So back to you, Claudia.
Yeah, so and my name is Claudia, and I also have an object or two objects actually. So first of all, it starts off how it relates to the movement. First of all, I deeply believe that we are all interconnected humans, nature, earth, the universe. And because of this, I strongly believe we need to change our consciousness. And so this is going within, and the butterfly represents basically the inner and outer transformation that we as humans and also the earth species have to go through. Thank you very much. And I'm so excited to be with all of you change makers and doing real change. So thank you with that. And actually we are coming to the close right now, and we have actually left one more minute, which I would like to give to Noah to wrap up the session.
Yes.
Please, Noah, over to you.
So the next steps after the session are, one, we want to, of course, share that the GDS movement has now gone live. And you as destinations can be a core part of this if you want. So we could create personalized banners for you that you can share, just to also pronounce your participation in the movement. If you're interested, just write me a message. And other than that, I think we're all looking forward to the upcoming summer breaks, which are all happening for us at different times. But for this reason, the GDS-Index Feeling the Pulse sessions will come to a small break as well. And the next session will be on the 2nd of September, but I'll send all those details out afterwards also. And something else to announce is also that we want to organize a best practice session for benchmarking, which will also happen on the 26th of August. And I think this would be relevant for anyone that is just new to the movement or wants to just familiarize themselves more with the new templates that we've created. So if you're interested, please join for that. And as always, a follow-up will be posted after this. So over to you, Claudia. I know we're running out of time.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, Noah, just to put an invite out. We're going to be exploring this whole concept of regeneration, not just for the next days and weeks, but months and years, and inviting different speakers to come and share. So, you know, if there's people that you think will be great to be part of it from your communities, from your cities, if there's projects that you'd like to talk about and share, please come to us. Again, you know, this is a big change about us, you know, to us as a community and the work we do as a community. So we've got to unlock that collective knowledge and wisdom. Yeah. So over to you, Claudia.
Yeah, and so we are 1 minute over, but I still, if you can hold on for 2 more minutes or 1 more minute, we really would love to share the videos of our change makers overseas in the Americas. Yeah, so Noah, a film, because they are also very integral part of our movement, and we don't want to leave without giving also them the space for you getting to know them. So please, Noah, please.
Hola, my name is Alejandra. I am from Mexico. I'm so proud to be part of GDS movement as a change maker. Regeneration to me is this. Nature is beauty, is transformation. Nature is life and energy. It's always in movement. Welcome to the global movement.
My name is Eduardo Chaillo, and I'm very happy to be part of this new strategic partnership between Global Meetings and Tourism Specialists and the Global Destination Sustainability Movement. This is a great moment because the decision makers will be looking for regenerated destinations.
Hi, I'm Emma Preston. I'm a partner with Connect 7 Group, and I am a North American change maker with the GDS movement. My reminder of regeneration is my spider plant. As the people around it become careless, we can knock small pieces off. But if we nurture and look after those small pieces, they can grow back into their own beautiful plants. So not only is it a reminder of regeneration, but it's also a constant reminder to me of how important human interaction is with the nature around us. It's great to meet you all.
Hi all, I'm Alexis Karalik out of Vancouver, BC. I'm a partner in Connect 7 Group, and I'm also one of the North American Changemakers with the GDS movement. My constant reminder of regeneration are the little bit of flowers that I do have that I keep alive and that take a rest at the end of the summer and come back strong and beautiful every year.
Thank you very much, everyone. So with this, we want to close. You had lots of information, great inspiration, and you got to know lots of the people who are behind the movement. And we really think we can do it. Absolutely. And with this, I thank everyone very much and have a wonderful Wednesday and rest of the week. Thank you.
Happy summer, everyone. Take care.